Notion AI was introduced about 4 months ago, bringing the power of artificial intelligence into your Notion workspace, allowing you to be more creative and work faster. Notion can help you generate ideas and draft content, edit and review your copy, summarize, explain, and find action items in your Notion pages, and even translate copy. Notion is said to be using Anthropic and OpenAI's GPT-3 natural language processing and machine learning capabilities to power its features. Unless you've been living under a rock for the past few months, you've probably heard about ChatGPT, which is OpenAI's flagship product, creating human-like responses to a wide variety of prompts. So imagine bringing that power inside of Notion. Most of us need to write copy as part of our work or even for our day-to-day lives. For example, to write a cover letter for a job application or to write an email for a customer. So we can all benefit from Notion's AI's capabilities. So in today's video, I want to show you 5 ways that you can leverage Notion AI to come up with new ideas, save time, and increase your productivity. We are now in Notion, and I've created a new page to show you those 5 use cases for Notion AI. And the first thing I want to touch on is how to access Notion AI. It's almost impossible to miss because in every page and in every block, you will see the option to press space to actually access the AI. This makes it really easy while you're typing and creating your pages to see the AI popping up. There is one other option, which is to actually press Command J, and this also brings up Notion AI. As you can see, there's quite a few predefined prompts that Notion AI offers, allowing you to create a social media post, a creative story, a to-do list, a meeting agenda, and so on. So you can either use these predefined prompts that Notion AI has built in, or you can just start writing and type up your own prompt. In fact, the more specific your prompt is, the better the results you can expect. But for the sake of this first example, let's actually use one of the Notion AI predefined prompts, and let's create a social media post. Now, I actually want to write a social media post about Notion AI, so I'm going to type that in. But I do want to make it a little bit more specific. I want a social media post for LinkedIn. So I'm going to type, I want a LinkedIn post about Notion AI capabilities. Now that I have my prompt written up, all I have to do is press enter, and Notion AI is going to start typing our post. Hopefully this will be fairly quick, and it will actually include some hashtags as well, which it does. That's fantastic. As we can see, Notion AI came up with a short post suitable for LinkedIn. But as I'm reading through it, it starts with, are you tired of spending hours on organizing your data manually? Look no further than Notion AI. It sounds a bit salesy to me, so I have to say I'm not a huge fan of this done. But I'm going to go ahead and click done to accept this content. We have the option to actually continue writing or making it longer, but I'm going to go ahead and select done. And what I will do next is to select all of this content, and I'm going to ask AI to change the tone. Let's see if it comes up with a little bit of a less salesy approach, perhaps by selecting a more straightforward tone. So what Notion AI will do is to rewrite the content that it came up with earlier, but in a different tone. This is super helpful. You know, if you write a very casual email on Notion or a very casual proposal, perhaps for a customer, you can just ask AI to transform it and make it more formal if you need it so. As you can see, it's actually already much better. I much prefer this tone, is less salesy in the beginning. So I'm just going to go ahead and select replace selection, which is going to replace the previous post with this new one. And there you go, there's your LinkedIn post. Now, note that not everything that Notion AI outputs is actually factually correct. So my recommendation is that you use the content generated by Notion AI as a source of inspiration, but still conduct your own research, add in your own thoughts, and tweak it to your own personal style before posting it anywhere else. Now let's take this one step further. Let's say I want to transform this LinkedIn post or repurpose this content to create a tweet as well. So I'm going to go ahead and select all the text again, and I'm going to ask AI to create a tweet with less than 280 characters. And let's see what it comes up with. And there we go. In a matter of seconds, you were able to repurpose existing content to create a shorter version that you can use to post in a different platform, but still transmitting the same message. Again, you can either replace that selection or insert below. In this case, I want to insert it below because this is a different post. So I'm actually going to separate these two, and this is a tweet. There's one more thing that I want to do, and that is a very incredible capability that Notion AI has, which is to translate this content into another language. So my native language is actually Portuguese, so I would love to be able to post in both English and Portuguese. So I'm going to go ahead and select my tweet, and then I'm going to ask the AI to translate it. And as you can see, it comes up with a list of languages that it can translate into, and Portuguese is one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and select Portuguese. And there we go. And as a Portuguese native speaker, I can attest that this is a very good translation. Even though it's Portuguese from Brazil and I am from Portugal, it's absolutely fine. It's grammatically correct and it makes sense. So this is really good quality translation. And again, I'm going to go ahead and select insert below so that I have my English version and my Portuguese version all in the same document, so that I can go ahead and just post my content on the respective platforms. As you have seen, there's many other things that you can do with Notion AI. When you select existing text in your page, you have the option to ask AI to do a series of things with it, like improve your writing. It could help you fix spelling and grammar, make it shorter, make it longer, and so on. But this is about it for our first example, so let's move on to the next one. For our next example, I have captured an article from the web and I saved it to Notion because I want to read it later. Now, as I'm looking at the article, it is quite lengthy and I don't really feel like reading it right now, but I would like to capture the essence of the article. So Notion AI can help me with that by summarizing the information in this article. So if we go all the way to the bottom, I can actually go ahead and press that space bar, and I'm going to ask Notion AI to summarize it, which is already one of the predefined prompts that you will see. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and hopefully it will come up with just a few sentences to summarize the content of this article. And you can see it's really straightforward, and in a few lines it tells you what the article is about. But you probably knew this already when you saved the article, what it is about. You just want to consume the information in it, but not spend 20 minutes reading through it. So let me be more specific with Notion AI and tell it exactly what I want to see. So for example, I would like to see this article summarized in 10 bullet points. So I'm going to go ahead and ask AI to summarize this page in 10 bullet points. Let's go ahead, click enter, and let AI do its job. And as you can see, this is much easier to read, and in a few minutes you can understand what the para method is about, what it stands for, and how to use it. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this by clicking done. Now, one of the really handy thing that you can do with Notion AI when you're reading content or scientific articles where you might encounter words that you're not sure what they mean, another very convenient thing you can do with Notion AI is just highlight the words that you're not too sure what they mean, and rather than going into Google, you can just ask AI directly to explain what that means. So let's imagine I didn't know what cheat sheet stands for, so I could go ahead, select these two words, and then ask AI to explain this for me. And as you can see, it gives you a definition of what a cheat sheet is, saving you time copying this and going to Google to look for a definition. So in this case, I don't want to keep it. I just wanted to know what it means. So I'll just go ahead and discard this information. For our next example, let's imagine that we need to conduct research to compare two different options or two different solutions and need to come up with a table comparing the features of the two solutions so we're able to make a decision on which one to proceed and buy. So in this case, I want to compare the features of Notion versus Airtable as two productivity tools that I might want to choose between. So I'm going to go ahead and press that space bar to bring up our AI, and I'm going to create a very specific prompt. I'm going to ask AI to create a comparison table comparing the features of Notion to Airtable. And let's go ahead, and hopefully this will actually create a comparison side by side in a table. And as we can see, that's exactly what it has done, making the information really, really easy to digest and really aiding with decision making. Because you could have spent hours on a search engine, conducting searches, reading different reviews and different pages, and in a matter of seconds, Notion AI just gathered all that information and summarized it for you in a very simple table. I'm going to go ahead and accept this content, and as you can see on this last sentence, Notion is not biased toward Notion. Even though we're comparing Notion itself to another table, it actually is very factual. So it tells you that they're both great tools and that Notion is a slightly better or has a more polished user interface and has a free option for personal use, whereas Airtable has more advanced pricing plans and customization options for enterprise level use. So it's not biased towards itself, which is really, really great to see. For our next Notion AI use case, I have here some notes from a meeting that I had with a customer, and I'm going to ask Notion AI to help me find a list of meetings that I need to schedule. So I'm going to go ahead and press the space bar to bring up Notion AI, and I'm going to be very specific with what I want from Notion AI. So I want a list of the meetings that need to be scheduled. I'm going to go ahead, press enter, and see what it comes up with. Okay, that's pretty clear. So it seems like there's 5 meetings that I need to schedule. I do want to take this one step further. I do actually want to see the exact date when I need to book these meetings for. So I'm going to ask the AI to add dates and times to these meetings. And there we go, it's going to rewrite it, and now it actually includes dates. As you can see, it tells me that I need to book a one-on-one with Thomas to discuss current CSM processes for Friday the 7th of April at 12 p.m. Dubai time. So this is really handy, particularly if you have very long meeting notes with different stakeholders and different departments involved. This can really help you summarize your next steps in a very short amount of time. And for our last use case, we're going to enlist the help of Notion AI to help us write an email to ask for a raise. Obviously, you should be very clear as to why you're asking that and have a list of your accomplishments and your skill set and discuss that directly with your manager. But if you want to have some copy prepared beforehand, you can certainly ask Notion AI to come up with some ideas. So let's go ahead and bring up Notion AI, and let's say write an email for a manager to ask for a raise, and let's see what does it come up with. So here we go, dear manager, I hope the email finds you well. I've been working for X company for a number of years. Love being part of this team. I would like to discuss a raise in my salary. It actually lists the fact that this person might have taken additional responsibilities, exceeded their targets, received positive feedback. So this is actually a very good email. It's quite direct. It's asking for a direct percentage increase in their salary. While this is probably not going to get a direct yes or no, it will be a conversation opener. Hopefully it will set the stage or take the first step towards a discussion that will lead to that salary increase. So that's quite handy if you're not very experienced with having difficult conversations or would like some help and guidance. Notion AI can certainly do that for you. Whether you're asking for a raise, discussing a contract, your rental contract with your landlord, or even approaching a prospect, Notion AI can help you write copy from scratch that is actually very tailored and specific to that situation. Notion AI was initially released to a few users as part of an alpha program back in November 2022, but it's now available to all users. So anyone with a Notion account will be given 20 free responses to test Notion AI before deciding if they want to pay for it or not. After you used up your 20 free responses, you will need to pay $10 per user per month to add Notion AI as an add-on to your existing plan. I hope this video gave you some ideas on how to use Notion AI to improve your workflows and increase your productivity. And if so, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel for weekly Notion tutorials. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.